Hello everyone, welcome back to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, in the middle of a trial. Don't know how long it is, got an idea. Hopefully I can do this. What up, Judge? How's your face?
Court is now back in session.
So, basically, everything has become a house of lies. I don't even know who to trust right now. This is unbelievable.
Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
That is a little surprising. I'm actually surprised too. Shame, and here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. Yeah, tell him, Apollo. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamiroir.
Lamiroir?
What you gonna say? What's the problem? What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamiroir's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamiroir was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lamiroir dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? He didn't know. He didn't know anything about it. I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin, why would anyone be out to kill Lamiroir? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. Yeah, here we go. So, am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely that there is a nugget of truth in Lamiroir's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? That sounds like a euphemism, but I'm not gonna go there. Exactly.
If Lamiroir was attacked, this has serious implications.
It does.
Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamiroir's testimony once more.
Hello, darling. I'm sorry you're back up here. Lamiroir, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and found to be quite soundproof. That was one of the points that was brought up, yes.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court?
Of course, Your Honor. Alright, let's see what she has to say. I don't remember the exact first testimony, but I don't know how different this one will be. What I heard, let's hear about it. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them. Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another. There was a smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Okay. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. But there must be a way. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamiroir was attacked because of this testimony. Yeah, don't forget that. What? Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Don't we all? Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness.
Girl, I got you. I will do it as cool as possible. Watch this. It's gonna be cool. Alright. Well, we're pressing it all. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. I mean, we know this is a truthful statement and there's probably nothing there, but just in case. Is something wrong? I raised an objection, but she's saying the same thing she said before. Oops. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Mr. Justice?
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
No, you don't. The one in red over there is a shining example, Judge. You are not that much older than me. Shut up. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. Now, I definitely want to hear more about this. Darian Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him. The one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you? It's impossible. There's no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene... Oh, sorry, I thought it was him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course. I still feel like you would have heard gunshots, though. I mean, we heard them outside in the hallway. Paulo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try?
Oh, here we go. Did you hear anything else or no need? Well, here's what I'm thinking already. If we ask what they were talking about and she actually comes up with something important that we can prove, then that will prove that she actually heard what was going on. I'm gonna try that one. Lamiroir, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but... I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. Oh. Okay, maybe I fucked up. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? So my memory is clear. I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue we've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then? Darian Crescent?
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now. Okay.
Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche?
I thought it quite strange myself afterward.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this?
I mean, sure. I'd be delighted. It's very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? Yeah, let's do that. From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch now." Press the switch. She's gotta mean this thing. Is this what we do? Press the switch now. Oh, shit! Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens, I have a switch right here.
That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lamiroir heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch?
Oh my god! Oh my god! It could have been through the headset or like a receiver or a walkie-talkie or something. I didn't even think. Oh my god, okay. It's a possibility. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is getting real now. Oh, air forehead, I'd call that an impossibility. That's because you don't know nothing. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamiroir's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gaviniers were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. I guess that's true. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too, have her forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard? Shut up. I'll get you later. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? Yes, drag him. Get you some Apollo? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Yes, I love his sassy ass, holy shit. Okay, what does it say? Using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. That has to be the headset. Receiver transmitter for voice signals with a 30-foot range. Do it. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this.
Well, why, that's... What? What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
Nope. This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
Communications device?
From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. They're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. What are you gonna object about? I just totally proved it. Shut up.
True, but wait. They'll send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited.
Lamiroir said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. Yeah, like if you're going diagonally, then it really isn't that bad at all.
Whoa, 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 oh my god.
He's flipping out. That can't be.
So when Lamiroir heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
I didn't even think about that possibility.
Ha, you're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch.
Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it.
Oh, wait, no, don't give up. I was sure this was the way to go with this.
What is this switch anyway? We don't even know the basic fact.
Yeah, we do. We pressed it, and then
Emma caught on fire. I was there.
Wait a second. I do know what the switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that it completely changes the case.
It does.
What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch... Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what the switch is.
Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case.
I am. This is going to be our ace in the hole here. I can feel it.
Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what the switch is?
What evidence do we have to explain what it is? The ignition thing, right? Yeah. Identical igniters in Gavin's guitar and at the crime scene triggered by, it even says here, triggered by the remote trigger. Present that. Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? Ah, that's that.
The what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Exactly, what the fuck?
Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter?
Yes, actually. You aren't saying the switch is a remote. I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Oh, he's gonna blow up the whole courtroom.
Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down the courtroom.
Oh, sorry. That was a bit more fire than I expected.
If my whiskers had caught on fire.
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger.
What you gonna do, buddy boy?
Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. Yeah, I'm telling you, I will never get tired of seeing him fall over. I didn't see what they said just there because I was busy looking at him catching on fire. I admit.
Wasn't that part of the stage show, though?
No, not that part of it. Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Borginia from Lamiroir. He said the sound was amazing. Well, before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes.
I get it. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Air forehead.
Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. What the fuck else would you do with them? Of course they go together.
Those being heard, or those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamiroir, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Really? It seems pretty simple to me. What are you gonna— what? Oh, he made.
Air forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you.
What do you mean?
I was expecting something a little more sensible.
Like what? How the fuck more obvious could this be?
I guess I was wrong. What's he got up his sleeve? He's got something. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin?
His simple story simply makes no sense. Think. That night, my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this, indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah, that's right, of course.
Yes, give me this. Can I just have this all the time?
The guitar caught fire during Lamiroir's song.
Indeed. Yet the shooting happened during the third set? The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty.
See? His story makes no sense. Wait a minute now, though. Are you sure about that? Apollo, what you got?
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far.
What premise is this specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. Yes, give me this Wheel of Fortune. What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Machi was in that dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice?
Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony. Namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote triggered igniter was inside the guitar.
From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What? Holy shit, this changes a lot then. This changes a ton.
Order, order! But that goes against the evidence.
What does, Your Honor?
This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of the song, yes?
Hey, he's right, look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
Huh?
Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it.
Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yeah, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose?
Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin?
This is insane. If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes, the shooting would have to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet, our forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire.
Oh, sorry guys, I had a little coughing fit there. We're back. It's alright.
Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way. So like we thought, and like I thought in the beginning, that was all staged. To throw them off the scent.
Order, order! That would explain this most unusual situation.
It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second. And we know who that could be, don't we? It's all falling into place now. It almost seems too easy. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly, it has. What the fuck could you possibly have left? Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Uh-oh. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us the reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction out of our head, one I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamiroir have heard a voice through it? God, that fucking back to that goddamn window again, every time. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamiroir's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice? What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying press the switch, and near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And, last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamiroir heard the voice? How?
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Do we have anything? Okay, Justice. You've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamiroir heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think. How was Lamiroir able to hear the voice? Oh my god, that third one! Is that it? We know the window wasn't open. It's a fact that it wasn't. Divine hearing, well, that's just stupid. I didn't even think of the possibility that she could be somewhere else. I think I know where she was. Oh my god. Sorry, I freaked out. Sometimes I get that way. I get so into these. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been open either. Meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be a Borginian too. What, are you racist or something? Get out of here with that. As I was saying, Lamiroir could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. Get me that wheel, spin that fucking wheel, and don't even think about landing on bankrupt because I got this shit. God, I will never unhear that music as the Wheel of Fortune music when it starts.
What's this?
You do amuse me so. Yeah, that's what she said last night. I mean, what? And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Uh-oh. Alright. Shall I interpret for you, Air Forehead? Lamiroir clearly stated she heard the voice through the small window. And there is only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? It is what I thought, isn't it? But how? There is? There is. You guys know it too, don't you?
I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamiroir heard the voice from another location? Mr. Justice, show us where the location was.
Oh my god. Well, here's my thing now. Where do I want to actually say where it was? My first thought was the air vent. But this looks... There's a couple places, because look, these are here too. She was in the air vent, wasn't she? I'm gonna try it. Because if she was in that other one, I don't think she would have heard it from over there.
Does this look like a small window to you, Mr. Justice?
The state of modern society can be read from numerous objects and artifacts. In a sense, anything can be a window on our society. Wow, that was deep, Apollo. Good job.
I didn't ask you to point out a window in society.
Oh, was that wrong? Was I wrong? I thought that's where I was. Was it the other one? Maybe I didn't have it on correctly? She's up there. I know it. That was my own stupid... Oh, shoot. That was my own stupid thing, because maybe... You know what? Let me get my stylus, because I'm doing this actually with the D-pad, and it's not very accurate to do that. What I think is... That's on it, right? Try it again. Oh, shoot, really? Uh-oh. Well, I thought that's where it was. Okay, I'm wrong. You know what? I'm an idiot. At first I thought, well, I know that where the regular air vent is, but I thought that she had climbed over to that part of it so she could hear perfectly. I'm stupid. So I am going to do my original plot, which was up here. If I can get it up here? Doesn't want to... It doesn't want to go. Will that count? Let's try it. This is where Lamiroir heard the voice from. Okay, so they're considering that she could have heard it from over there. My first thought was that she was in the air vent, but she crawled over to the other side where the other air vents were. That was just stupid reasoning on my part.
But that's no small window. That's the air vent.
You were up there, weren't you, girl? What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Ooh, is that what you're going with? That's pretty good. Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous... ludicrous speed. I just watched Spaceballs recently, and I can't believe all of the references that I'm just coming up with. So Lamiroir was up in the ventilation system listening to the man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means. This word. I do not think this word means what you think it means. That's Princess Bride. Air Forehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? Ha, it hardly merits saying. Why would Lamiroir be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamiroir? Tell us, darling, please. You have been listening to our discussion here, yes?
Yes, I admit, it had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter.
Oh, he's free. He's losing it, dude. Losing it. The problem here is words. Lamiroir, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high? On the ceiling of the room, not low, on a wall?
Yes, it was up on the ceiling.
Oh boy, here it is. Here it is. Yes.
Order, order! I will have order! Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime?
Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry. I never imagined it would become such an important point.
Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? Why were you up there, and how did you get up there? The more important thing?
I believe it's time for another testimony.
I'm not sure. I can't.
May I remind you that this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of the room. Please.
Can you do it, darling?
Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Will she do it? Okay, above the ceiling, let's do it. I want to at least hear this before we stop.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice.
Oh wow, look at this!
I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on the matter.
Oh! I know why she was there! The magic trick! That's how they did it, isn't it? Is that how they did it? Had her go through the air vent to drop on the other side? That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah? Forehead. Yeah, I got it. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you gonna do, Apollo?
I think I've got this. I'm gonna find out the truth. She was up above the ceiling for a reason. I have to get it out of her. Yeah, I want to hear about this before we stop. I've gotta know. Okay, above the ceiling. Tell me about this.
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard.
Oh, this is all the same. Shoot, okay, let me go back. Because, I want to press everything. Above the ceiling. Could you be more specific?
I cannot.
Because you're bound to secrecy?
Yes. To tell the truth, I was not supposed to even say I was above the ceiling. I dare not say more.
Doesn't sound like I'll be able to coax it out of her just by asking. Okay. Had heard there was a small window there before. What about that part? By small window, you mean the air vent?
I only remembered I needed to be careful of where I put my hands and feet.
Right, because she would have to crawl through to get to the other side of the stage, like the performing arena. This makes perfect sense.
I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course.
The air vent grate could trip you up, certainly.
So, I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshot. Startled, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice come from the room.
Darian's voice.
I knew something terrible had happened yet.
It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. I mean, that makes sense. So without a word, you just let the third set start?
After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do.
You could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you'd only told us sooner.
Yes, perhaps I could have.
I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. Why, I've lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing completely unaware. Singing without a voice? If only all contradictions were so obvious. If only I could get Lamiroir to talk. Pressuring her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere.
As to why I was there, I cannot say.
But we know why. Do we have anything that proves why? Wait, we do! Wait, don't we? Hang on, where is it? This is it! This is it! The tape! Doesn't the tape show her disappearing? Oh my god! Oh my god, hell yes! Judge Judy is behind me. Lamiroir, truth be told, the reason for your presence above the ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance.
What happened?
Yes, it's all right here on this video. Oh, we get to see this, do we? Yeah, it's so good. Sit back and watch. Let's do it. Please tell me we get to see the guitar catch on fire, because I want to see that again, actually. Okay, so she goes through like a hole there somewhere, and then she gets somehow to the vents. I don't know how, but that's neither here nor there. Yes! Yes! Boy, she got there pretty fucking fast. Especially for a blind lady. Can we just agree on that, please? Oh my god. That's how she got over there. The part of him beating it out is the best. It's so good. So good. Oh, that gives me life every time I see it. As we can see, Lamiroir was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Oh. Though it saddens me to be so realistic, Lamiroir is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum.
Apollo!
What, Trucy?
It's not nice to reveal a magician's secret. It's against the rules.
But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears.
See, that was my question, too.
She couldn't have moved that fast.
Could she not have?
Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
Boy, you sweating. What's going on? Take your clothes off. It'll help. What? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed.
Aha!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Nice. Nice. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear of the forum. Right, she would just have to scuttle real quick, I suppose. But that must be terrifying for a blind person. I guess maybe not, because, like, if you can't see anyway, the darkness in the air vent isn't going to scare you. But being in such a cramped space might, I don't know. Recall Lamiroir's testimony from yesterday.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of the route above the ceiling.
That's right. Lamiroir knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something.
I know.
If I open the vent, I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? Oh shit, he's about to sweat. I knew about the vanishing act, of course. Yet, I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know.
Which is why he bound Lamiroir to secrecy. Well, Lamiroir?
I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that. But I'm still a little confused.
A little? Why's that, Your Honor?
As I said before,
Maybe he's still talking about the time it took? I don't know.
there was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
I guess that's a good question. That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing.
What thing, Your Honor?
You know, the thing.
You need to explain how Lamiroir was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater.
Ugh. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamiroir who isn't going along with the program here.
As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail, even if it means that your own young friend is going to be put in jail because of you? That's ridiculous.
Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her.
Yes, if you would please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo. We're gonna have to do this in the next one, I'm sorry. But I want to keep these kind of on the same level. I don't want there to be like one 30-minute video and one like an hour and 30 minutes. But I'm going to keep going as best I can. The big illusion, we'll hear about that in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you so much. Bye.